Coming up on 5 Minute News. Judge orders unsealing of redacted affidavit in Mar-A-Lago search. Joe Biden identifies Republicans as semi-fascist. And California to phase out gas-fueled vehicles by 2035. It's Friday, August 26. I'm Anthony Davis. A judge ordered the Justice Department on Thursday to make public a redacted version of the affidavit it relied on when federal agents searched the Florida estate of former President Donald Trump to look for classified documents. The directive from U.S. Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhart came hours after federal law enforcement officials submitted under seal the portions of the affidavit that they want to keep secret as their investigation moves forward. The judge set a deadline of noon today for a redacted or blacked-out version of the document. The order means the public could soon get at least some additional details about what led FBI officials to search Mar-A-Lago on August 8 as part of an investigation into classified documents being retained at the Palm Beach property. Documents already made public as part of the investigation show that the FBI retrieved from the property 11 sets of classified documents, including information marked at the top secret level. The redactions proposed by the Justice Department are likely to be extensive given the sensitivity of the investigation and unprecedented nature of the search, lessening the chance that the public will receive a detailed glimpse of the basis for the search or the direction of the probe. The department had earlier contested arguments by media organizations to make any portion of the affidavit public, saying the disclosure could contain private information about witnesses and about investigative tactics. Aiming to turn months of legislative accomplishments into political energy, President Joe Biden sought on Thursday to underscore the choice facing voters in the midterm elections, comparing Republican ideology to semi-fascism as he led a kickoff rally and fundraiser in Maryland, which comes as Democrats have seen their political hopes rebound in recent months amid a legacy-defining burst of action by Biden and Congress. From bipartisan action on gun control, infrastructure and domestic technology manufacturing to Democrats-only efforts to tackle climate change and healthcare costs, Biden is expected to highlight the achievements of the party's unified but razor-thin control of Washington. And he will try to sharpen the contrast with Republicans who once seemed poised for sizable victories in November. Just months ago, as inflation soared around the world, Biden's poll numbers soured as his agenda stalled. Democrats braced for significant losses. But the intense voter reaction to the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade and a productive summer on issues of core concern to Democrats have the party feeling like it's finally on the offensive, heading into the November 8 vote. Biden's Thursday event came a day after the president moved to fulfill a long-delayed campaign pledge to forgive federal student loans for lower and middle-income borrowers, a move that Democrats believe will animate younger and Black and Latino voters. Biden aides said he would continue to paint Republicans as the ultra-MAGA party, which opposes his agenda and embraces far-right conservative ideology, including Trump's false claims about the 2020 election. What we're seeing now is either the beginning or the death knell of an extreme MAGA philosophy, Biden said. It's not just Trump, it's the entire philosophy that underpins it's like semi-fascism, he said. Meanwhile, Democrats have benefited from Republican candidates who won primaries but are struggling in the general campaign. Trump-backed Senate candidates have complicated the GOP's chances in battleground states like Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona, while several Trump-aligned candidates in House races were not always the party's first choice. California plans to require all new cars, trucks and SUVs to run on electricity or hydrogen by 2035, under a policy approved on Thursday by regulators that seeks a dramatic cut in carbon emissions and an eventual end to gasoline-powered vehicles. The decision by the California Air Resources Board came 2 years after Governor Gavin Newsom first directed regulators to consider such a policy. If the goal is reached, California would cut emissions from cars in half by 2040. The move gives the most populous US state the world's most stringent regulations for transitioning to electric vehicles. It is expected to prompt other states to follow California's lead and to accelerate the production of zero-emission vehicles by automakers. Board member Daniel Sperling, founding director of the Institute of Transportation Studies at the University of California, Davis, called the vote the most important and transformative action the Air Board has ever taken. The European Parliament in June backed a plan to effectively prohibit the sale of gas and diesel cars in the 27-nation European Union by 2035, and Canada has mandated the sale of zero-emission cars by the same year. California climate officials say the state's new policy is the world's most ambitious because it sets benchmarks for ramping up electric vehicle sales over the next 13 years. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.